We have come, proceed to enter. We have come, see the gates opening. We have come.
What is made by numbers is given names, whereby there is called a dominion of names, the kingdom of heavens. Take a dressmaker. Where do you start? Start with numbers. You must have the measurement first. According to the measurement, you pick out the materials. And then you begin to cut it out, shape it into the style that you have seen according to the numbers at the beginning. As our names are spoken from the numbers of Elohim into words, we enter into levels of manifestation. Yet within the levels of manifestation, there is always the light that causes us to appear in the day that we are set forth from Shemayim. It's agreements with the names and their words that determine the state of our residence. In the midst of the water is fire that radiates the faces that have assembled themselves within us, and rings. Rings of the eyes, rings of the ears, rings of the lips, rings of the parts within you that contain the vibrations, sounds, thoughts to register and to communicate freely one to another. We translate the unspoken rays of light coming into refractions and combinations, striking one another to form words, whereby what is spoken is unto the end, furthest extent, why it assembled. Let us just take a very familiar verse . Rashid, perhaps most of you can repeat it, read it. Bereshit, bara, Elohim, Ot, Hashemayim, Wa'ut, Haaretz. In the beginning, commonly read, the Elohim create the summations of names, heavens, and the summation, the ends of the earth, unto the ends of the earth. Let us count the words that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 words that make up the first sentence of Torah. If we count how many characters that make this up, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We have missing 1. So, missing the Havua. Haaretz. Illumination. The topic of the seminar. Na'un, Na'un, 14 plus 14, 28 letters. We give the summation of our purpose of being. And within the minds of light, Al-Hayim formulate, make creations of the names and of the alarets, states of words. And here it is, the Hahua, the light of the earth, the light of Shemayim. Because what they speak is of Hahua, the light. This is a witness here of the sevenfold nature of the words of Ahahim, of the 28 Ahahim. 28 Ahahim. In approaching the light, you think of before words. So words should lead you to the light. Even as you approach yourself, you look at yourself before you came into your mother's womb, before you were known, whereby you were known in the collective of Yahuwah. And knowing yourself before you are formed in your mother's womb, you're able to transcend the world. How many of you ever felt caught in the world or a slave to the world? It's because your light's hidden. Because if you know yourself, before you come into the world will never be your master. And when you discover the light within you, you will be able to transcend the world. You can overcome obstacles. Because what can stand in the path of Hakam, the sun? Who can approach her and maintain any opposition? You can overcome all problems if you let the light within you break out. And even death. Your light will overcome death, which you may fear the most. But death is actually your friend. Because in death, it gives way to the light within you. Through this light, you can enter into the 7 hills from which the faces of Yah and their Al-Hayim, their words, are spoken. See, the Al-Hayim are 28. 2 and 8 are 10. 10 is 1 extended. 2 and 8 are 16, oylah. 1 and 16 is 17, pa'uah, sayings. From the lips of the Al-Hayim, they drew out what was in them. They gave of all the names that were in them, and all of the states of light that are named after them. That the light from which they are becomes extended forward. What happens if the Elohim did not speak all the words? The light would still be encased. And thus it is through our speaking the words of light within us that we bring forth the full attributes unto the ends, the consequences, the determinations, the furthest extent for the light to go. And this is why light is always expanding. So Zebulun, rejoice as you enter into the waters for your manifestation. Yishakar, rejoice in your dwellings to increase your strength to perform your labors. As Yeshoyahu writes, for your light has come. You have been provided a place to let your light rise upon you. Listen to Vunun. You will see a great light rising up upon you. The light that is within you will rise up over you. Hey! Hey! It will take away all shadows. It will take away all darkness, all confusion, all wars, anger, resentment, divisions. Rejoice. Though you've been distressed and humbled by coming into the world, your light will surely come. This is the primary reason for you to appear. Even though you may have thought of yourself to be more important, maybe a little special. That the world owes you something. Somehow you became heavy laden with yourself to the degree of carrying a gravity, a grave thought that caused you to fall like a star to the earth. And then when you came into the world, there was your princess of Egypt. Ah, look, child, the Hebrew crossed over. How did this happen? The light came into this body. How did this happen? But before you came into this world to see yourself, all sadistic, I'm sorry. You have this element of gravity, this grave thought. Somehow you're outside of the collective to which you belong. The prophecy spoken over you on the day that you are born from the Al-Hahim will never fail. Though you turn your back on the light, and you seek only the pleasures and things of this world, you will not be left alone. Though you go into the depths of hell, you are known. The Al-Hahim know where you are at any time, any state. And there are servants of illumination always standing ready to help. When you came into the womb in a basket of reeds formed by your mother, your sister Baina, Miriam, standing looking afar off. What will happen? What will happen to you? She rushes up to the princess, little Hebrew girl, coming up to the princess of Egypt. She begins to tell the company of the princess, I found a little baby. I know someone who can nurse the baby. Such mercy. A mother of the Hebrews to hold you, to show you mutuality, unconditional love. That's in your mother. Your mother's heart. Till the time that you raise up with these principles of the Hebrew people in the midst of Mitzrayim. You say, I'm not an Egyptian. I'm not Israel. I'll set my face to the mountain from which I came. Will you? I will go to the hills from whence come my strength. There is this pathway to Yah, the illumination of the faces from which we all are born. This path is in you. Strands that connect your body parts will lead you to your origin. Each letter, each is an al-hahim. Each one is made of 4 points. We have the alpha, bayi, the mouth, dalet, huwa, zayin. Each one a state of consciousness or a universe of 4 points. Makes a square. A circle can only form from 4 invisible points that make up double lamed. Every state of consciousness has within it 2 lamed to support it, to give it distinction and definition. Come on, we all got them. Here they are. Your legs. Double lamed. You have your rod and your staff. The rod of night and the staff of day. And these utterances of Gad, we add these up, 4 points of 7. 7 words, 7 columns of wisdom. 7 times 4 are 28. Al-Hahim, and these 28 are one. Thus comes the saying, God is one. Meaning the Al-Hahim are unified. Oh, thought there was just a single entity. In approaching enlightenment, we have 8 words to review the process. First word is ka'iwar, meaning a basin or a pool, commonly called a laver or a wash basin, place where the waters receive parts to be molded and shaped. You can make a small ka'iwar by your palm of your hand like this, making a little cup. You can look at the basin of the ka'iwar between your pelvic bones, around your hip, how they form the basin of your waters. Isn't that right, Mother? You're holding all the waters of your child right here. It's going to come through that river as it opens up. That's the ka'iwar we're referring to when it says that as you approach enlightenment, you will come to the ka'iwar, to the basin of water. Then there's another word to contain the water, and it's called bar shavul. Bar shavul. And that is 7 wells. Seven avenues or courseways of water to develop the concepts of knowledge. There's a well of water for every one of your 7 eyes of your spirit. Each one of those wells will take you to the 7 levels of the mountain. This is also called in the writing of the Hasidim or Essenes the pool of Salom. And that's where the lame were laying. And the infirmed. And what were they waiting for? They're waiting for an angel, a message to come and to stir the waters. Come on. And when the waters were stirred, they could come up and be healed. So there is this stirring of the waters continually through making the oylah process that brings forth your strength. Rise up from your loins to burst open into your head, for you to jump with joy, for your lameness to be healed. Oh, you say, I don't have any problem walking, do you? Come on now.
Well,
We got a problem doing Torah, making the offerings, we're lame. Come on now. If our hand isn't put forth, our hand is maimed. If we can't see the light within us, we're blind. If we cannot hear the voice of the shepherd speaking to us, we're deaf. Tell you what you do with those problems, you take them to your leaders, your kings. Here, you can have it back.
come on.
Don't bring those offerings to me. Don't bring me your excuses and your complaints. Why you can't do something that I'm ordering you to do, to know yourself. That's why you came. You take your excuses and give them to the false leaders and servants and masters of iniquity, who want to dampen your spirit and keep you enslaved to this dominion. You're called to rise. The light within you will shine. It will come forth out of you like the sun breaks open in the midst of darkness. And you will see the light overshadowing your form. The instructions for approaching enlightenment is given to us in the scroll of the Kohanim, the priest, commonly called Vayikra, and one hears or calls, commonly known today as the book of Leviticus, after the name Levi. These are the writings of the Torah Kohanim, the laws, the structure, the teachings of the priest. And it is a call unto enlightenment, the path for you to come to know the light within you, and to walk according to that light, not according to the image in the mirror, not according to the ego trips that everybody tells you about, and you're looking pretty good today. Layering upon you things that you can or cannot do. You slough all that off. Don't carry that. Don't carry the rejection. Don't carry the disappointments, the hurts, the illusions, the false hopes. Put your hope and confidence in the light that's within you, for that light to rise. So from the writings of the Torah HaKohanim, the book of Leviticus, one of Al Mashai, one of Al, the strands of Moses, calls and reads. He reads the vibrations, the strands that make up the faces of Yah, which appear as the meekness of lambs. When you come into the world, you're so meek. Really. You have to be so humble. Put on these rags. To leave the glorious realms of crystals, the glory of Yaakov in Shemayim, and as you contemplate the meekness of the Elohim, how they serve one another, how they love one another, how they are bonded to each other, how they prefer one another. They're happy your eyes are where they are. They're happy your ears are where they are. They assemble themselves within a 2x2 structure within you to sustain you, to give you strength, to give you illumination, to know yourself as they have called you by name. This voice cries out from within you, this voice of your lamb, Moses. Mashai, made of two words. Mashai, an extraction of the lamb, of the voice that was recorded in you from the heavens. That voice begins to speak to you, to declare to you, Yahuwah, Aliyuv, that there's a collective sense within you, that somehow you are unified and wired as one, of many parts. That affirms the organization of light that's come out of your seed from which your body is spun, like upon the womb of Bayin and Hakma. To create a Tena meeting, a place of congregating, a tabernacle of evidence bearing the continuity, the congruency of your parts into this body. One that prompts you to your enlightenment is the voice of Yishakar to fulfill your name, purpose that you have in the collective, this job that you are assigned, that you are given by name. That voice will speak to you.
To the circle, our dream, they have no end. Just as a circle, there is no